Good evening. I'm opening the meeting of the Bristol Township Planning Commission. I want to welcome our viewing audience and those in attendance. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. If there are any veterans in the room, you know you can salute uncovered. You know what that means. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And I'm going to ask you to remain standing, to keep in mind our troops that are in harm's way, our prisoners of war, our killed in action, our missing in action, for all those children who were separated from their parents, for all those suffering from these wars, tragedies, and disasters, and any personal intentions you may have. Thank you very much. And again, welcome. We have three items on our agenda this evening. The first one is consideration of the August 6, 2024 Planning Commission meeting minutes. Commissioners, you've had copies of those minutes. You've had an opportunity to review them. I would entertain a motion.
I would like to motion for the approval of the minutes.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Thank you, Commissioners. Next item on our agenda is conditional use, Justice Storage, LLC, D/B/A, units of Bucks County, 219 Rittenhouse Circle, Bristol. Tax parcel number 05-023-057. Requesting conditional use approval for outside storage of empty containers in a P-1 planned industrial zone district.
Good evening. I'm Ed Murphy. I'm here tonight on behalf of the applicant.
I'm sorry, first name?
Ed.
Ed. Hearing aids, I'm adjusting there, brand new.
No problem.
Thank you,
I'll talk
Ed.
later. As you indicated, Mr. Chairman, this application is for a conditional use for one element of the business that is located there at Rittenhouse Circle. Warehouse is a permitted use in that district. The outside storage of containers is what is the conditional use element of the business. And we do have the outside storage of empty containers. Until recently, there has not been a plan that depicted exactly what was happening there on the property, and through conversation with the township staff, Bob, we've developed an actual site plan that reflects for the first time, I think, all the different uses in that property. Now, what's on the site, where things are located, and I think it's a good measuring stick for going forward as to where things can be located, where they can't be, and the like. So Kurt's office did issue his July 2nd review letter, which we've seen. I think the only issue, which I've talked to Bob and Kurt about briefly, is the extent to which you want to try to shield the outside storage of the empty containers from public view, which is what your ordinance says. We've discussed the fact that there is street trees now, fairly mature, in different locations along the property frontage, which is sort of a pie-shaped shaped lot. But what I said to Bob and Kurt is that we'd agree to install, per direction of Bob and Kurt of staff, some green giant arborvitae or other type of plantings where we can fit them in. We have to go between access points and what have you, but we'll agree, subject to their review and approval, to install some additional buffer plantings that grow fairly quickly. Green giant arborvitae grow well. So we would agree as a condition of any recommendation of approval to make those plantings subject to Kurt and Bob's direction.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else in the July 2nd review letter that isn't a will comply or we haven't already. So I think we're in good shape that way.
Thank you, Ed. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation. Do you have any questions or comments? Hearing none. Kurt, do you have any,
Nope, nothing to add.
Bob? Okay. From the audience, any questions or comments? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to recommend to council for conditional use, Justice Storage LLC DBA, Units of Bucks County, 219 Rittenhouse Circle, Bristol, tax parcel 05-023-057. I'd recommend that they get conditional use for the outside storage of empty containers in a P1 planned industrial zoned district, with the notation that appropriate shielding will be installed as per the direction of the director of,
Correct.
yeah.
Agreed to that condition.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second that motion.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous.
Good. Thank you.
Good luck, gentlemen. Have a great day.
I'll text you that address.
Our next item on the agenda is subdivision land development for New Horizon Property Management, 1909 Veterans Highway, Levittown, requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide and construct 2 single-family attached dwellings on the property located at 620 3rd Ave, Croydon, tax parcels number 05-007-136 and 05-007-136-001 in an R-3 residential zone district.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You were kidding about 10 o'clock, right?
Depends on how long you want to talk.
Our
Please
client,
identify yourself. for the
Larry
record.
Young from Tri-State Engineers.
Thank you, Larry.
Like I said, our client is New Horizons Property Management. Bob, can you go to sheet 2? The property consists of two parcels. In total, it's just less than a half acre.
Larry, by any chance, you don't happen to have a pointer, do you?
I do,
Okay.
unlike
Thank you.
Mr.
That's
Murphy.
just
Unlike
like,
Mr. Murphy,
like,
yeah,
yeah, well, that's just for our viewing audience, so they know what you're talking
that's
about.
fine. There, 2 parcels are in red. It's there's an existing house on the 1 parcel. It was recently demolished and rebuilt on its same foundation. And then what we're trying to do is there's 2 parcels here, and what we want to do is, if you go to the first sheet again, that house will remain on a parcel by itself. So we'll be going from 2 lots to 3 lots. 2 new building lots, though. Okay. We're proposing about a 2,400 square foot house on both of them, including the 2nd floor. We have 2 infiltration trenches in the lighter blue on the side of each unit. They'll have 2-car driveways, 1-car garage. They'll have a front porch, and they'll have a patio out back. It's a by right plan. We don't need any zoning relief. I guess we received a letter August 8th from Kurt's office, and we don't have any problem addressing any of them, except for, I talked to Kurt about the street tree issue, B6, in his letter. There's a lot of offsets to keep trees away from infiltration trenches. There's utilities on New York Avenue coming from these new homes. There's, we want to stay 10 feet off the building with our infiltration trench. And then there's just not enough room to fit these trees in on these narrow lots, but they are by right. So it's not like we're narrowing them up, you know. They are by right, and the corner one's eaten up by a lot of the front yard. You have 2 front yards on that one. So we would like to add to our waiver list the street trees, providing street trees out there. And the other one that we would like to add is the watering time. Because of the small area getting to these systems, that in order to meet that 24 hours, there's not a whole lot of flow getting to these, and we would have to spread these systems out over a wide area, which we don't have room to do. They're about 6 feet wide each system, and they're barely fitting on the lot now. So that's why. And also, these systems rely totally on infiltration for the volume control that's required under Chamonix Creek. And that's basically it. I can go over, all the rest are will complies in the letter, and I can go over the remaining waivers if you wish.
Yeah, if you would,
Okay,
please.
sure. Bob, can you go to, I think it's the last slide. Okay. This is I just wanted to show you some pictures of the site. This is 3rd Avenue. That's the house that was recently demolished and rebuilt. Can you go back one? This is New York Avenue along the other side of the property where the 2 new houses, their driveways will take access, and then one back from there. And this is just the remaining yard. You can see it's well manicured. Everything falls from 3rd Avenue through our lot to the other side of the lot. Okay, so just so that you can get a feel for the waivers that we're asking. First waiver is from providing sidewalk along abutting streets.
Yeah, excuse me, Larry, if you would.
Sure,
mention
I'll say the sections,
The
yeah.
numbers.
Yep. Number 1, section 17735A, 17743A, and 17766A. They all deal with sidewalks along the frontage of the property. As you can see, there are no sidewalks in this general area. The second group of variances is the section 17735B, which is the width of the cartway on 3rd Avenue. That 3rd Avenue is a dead-end street, and it doesn't go anywhere, so there's no through traffic cutting through there. There's probably 4 houses on that total dead-end street. The third group of variances, 17735A, 17745A, 17767A. That's from providing curb along 3rd Avenue only. There is no curb in this area. There is curb on New York Avenue. That was a previous slide. You can see the curb right there. So that will remain, and we'll be replacing somewhere the driveways come out, things like that. Number 4 is the plan scale. We did a larger size plan scale to get more detail because the site was small. That's 17793A1. Number 5, 17793C3. That's showing locations of roadways, streets, culverts, water mains, all within 200 feet of the track. That's the aerial. We have an aerial in the plan set it provides for that. And the last one is 17748D3 to permit grading within 5 feet of a property line. Specifically, it would be basically this property line, because the lot's so narrow. So,
Okay. Is that it?
yep.
Okay. Commissioners, you've heard the presentation. Do you have any comments or questions?
I just have a question about the infiltration for the rainwater, the stormwater management. You find that to be adequate in the plans there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion to recommend the council granting recommendation for New Horizon Property Management, 1909 Veterans Highway, Levittown, requesting preliminary and final subdivision approval to subdivide and construct 2 single-family attached dwellings on the property located at 620 3rd Ave in Croydon, tax parcels 05-007-136 and 05-007-136-001 in an R3 residential zone district. Recommend granting all the waivers listed on the Gilmore letter dated August 8th, and also to add the waiver for the ordinance 177-51-A in regards to street trees, which is originally in section B, number 6, under the Saldo review.
And the other one, the dewatering waiver, which was C3.
You have a question, Kurt?
I was just gonna say, the other one was for the dewatering time, and maybe make that subject to approval by
Council,
the
because it's
township
not
engineer.
part of the initial wavering
It's
process.
gonna be about 12 to 13, and we already, the one system has amended soils in it. It's just, and the other one has a 2-inch per hour, and we really don't, when it relies fully on infiltration and no outlet, we hate slowing it up.
Yeah, like I
because
said,
it's a
we'll
zoning.
work through the
Yeah,
details of it, but as long as it's subject to, and also just wanted to add that, can you send a updated waiver request letter then
Yeah.
prior to council? That way,
Yeah.
the draft resolution can be done based on that, so we don't have to make revisions.
Thank you. So now I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'd like to second that motion.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous. Congratulations,
Thank
sir. Having nothing else on our agenda, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'd like to second it.
It's been moved in second. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting is adjourned.